You see, what if I tell you India is friends with its enemies and enemies with its friends? Sounds confusing, right? Well, this is India's biggest hidden problem, and in the future, this could become dangerous. Let me explain. Right now, India is trying to balance between powerful countries. On one side, India is close to the United States. They do military exercises. Trade is growing. Technology partnerships are increasing. In 2023, India-US trade crossed $190 billion. That's huge. But wait, at the same time, India is also very close to Russia. Yes, the same Russia that is in conflict with the West. India buys around 60 to 70% of military weapons from Russia. And even after the Ukraine war, India increased buying Russian oil. Now here comes the twist. The US does not like Russia. Russia does not trust the US. And India is trying to be friends with both. But it doesn't stop there. India also has relations with Iran. Iran helps India access Central Asia through the Chabahar port. This is very important to bypass Pakistan. The US and Israel are actually involved in direct military action against Iran. India has strong ties with Israel, defense deals, technology, intelligence cooperation. At the same time, India is close to the United States. So when India works with Iran, it creates pressure from the US. And now the most complicated part, China. India and China have border tensions. But at the same time, China is one of India's largest trading partners. In 2024, trade crossed $100 billion again. So, enemy in borders, but partner in business. Now think about this. India is trying to be friend of the US, friend of Russia, connected to Iran, trading with China, all at the same time. This strategy is called strategic autonomy, which means India does not want to fully depend on any one country. India wants freedom to choose its own path. Sounds smart, right? Yes, but also risky. Because in today's world, countries are dividing into groups. US versus China, West versus Russia, Middle East tensions, and slowly the world is becoming like a new Cold War. Now here is the real question. What happens when India is forced to choose? For example, if a big conflict happens between the US and China, can India stay neutral? If pressure increases, can India say no to both sides? History gives us a warning. During the Cold War, countries that tried to stay neutral sometimes got isolated or forced to choose later under pressure. Even today, India is already facing pressure from the US on Russia oil, from the West on Iran ties, from China on borders. So the big risk is this. Trying to be friends with everyone might slowly lead to being trusted by no one. But wait, this is not the full story, because India also has a strong advantage. India is one of the fastest growing major economies. It is becoming a global power, and many countries need India. So instead of choosing sides, India is trying to become a side of its own. The future will depend on one thing. Can India balance this game without falling into pressure? Or will the world force India to pick a side? Because in geopolitics, you see sometimes too many friends can become the biggest problem.